You know, Jack Posobiec made a good point on Twitter earlier today. This morning, he made a post, saying that he hadn't seen any of the banks basically cut their ties with Balenciaga thus far. And of course, as you all know, this week, this past week actually, over the weekend, they've been going through a lot of controversy over an advertisement campaign that they started for their fall winter 23 collection here. And basically, with a whole lot of imagery of unsavory images of children and references to unsavory acts with children, is what I will say. And, I think that brings up a good point for juxtaposition to somebody else who is, of course, in the news right now and also strangely had ties previously with Balenciaga, which is Ye. And I'm sure that Jack didn't necessarily mean it the way, like, to allude to any one group of people being involved in Balenciaga or being involved in banking or anything like that, in the same way that Ye necessarily does, although we can't be sure because these are the kind of conversations that do have to be had. Because we have a person like Tim Pool who's in the middle, right? Saying that maybe he sees a little bit of what Jack is saying, and he hears what Kanye is saying, but he thinks that those things are unrelated, which I'm not saying that's right or wrong because I don't know where I stand on this with the limited information that we all have. I'm not the type to jump to conclusions until the conversation can be had. I'm always here to learn, and I'm always here to listen to a lot of different sources. But I say all that to say that we're really robbing ourselves of an opportunity of illumination here when we take away, and when I say we take away, in this instance, I would say Kanye West and his team took away by walking away from the conversation that they were going to have on Tim Pool's podcast. Because that would answer questions like the one that Jack is proposing, or at least help to get people's ears raised up and their eyes focused in the right direction. So I was super excited to see any kind of conversation, even though I know it's super controversial, but that's where these kind of mysterious, esoteric bits of life are hidden, is in conversation that is uncomfortable sometimes. So I think in the future, we have to, as men, as people, as humans, set these hard divisions, we have these weird fail safes in our brain where, and I mean, I've seen the most, I hate to say the term woke, but the most open-minded individuals fall prey to this, including myself, where when something doesn't meet, I don't want to say your narrative because it's not like a full-on echo chamber. These are open-minded people I'm talking about here. But if it's about how how information is presented and how it's received and all of that, more so than it is about the information that's actually on the table. And I get it. That's human nature. You can't help body language instinctually will make you go into fight or flight in certain circumstances, or offend you or humor you, all these kind of different body functions and things like that. So that is something that is to be considered. But when we talk about civilization, it's about raising above the base natures of humankind in order to progress, to be honest with you. And I know that we're so close to focusing our energy on answering the important questions like why Balenciaga hasn't been debanked and why nobody has actually come out to outwardly fully denounce them, including the president. And, Balenciaga is not an American company, so I'm not sitting here saying that I expect, Joe Biden to get up out of his walker and, start talking to us about fashion. That's not his place. But all these celebrities who wear it all the time, all these rappers who rap about it all the time and stuff like that, who claim that they care about children and claim that they do bad things to, those kind of people. Where are they at? Where are they at? Where are the banks at? Where are the banks? Why doesn't anybody care? Why didn't the world stop when that happened? And why is only a slap on the wrist warranted? Why is it not being investigated? These are the kind of questions that we have to ask ourselves, but we have to know that there are going to be people every which way around us that we may or may not know have agendas that benefit from suppressing those kind of conversations, however which way they can. And we have to be a little bit smarter than that. We really, really have to be a little bit smarter than that. And we have to have a laser focus on what it is that we're trying to achieve in the long run here in order to align ourselves with the correct individuals. Because much like the confusion with why Kanye West is even linked up with people like Milo and Nick, people don't understand that everybody is using everybody to further their agenda. I don't believe that Kanye West is being used any more than Nick Fuentes or Milo Yiannopoulos are being used. You're talking about a musician, fashion designer who's now getting into politics, linking up with political analysts, commentators, and strategists. You're talking about disenfranchised political strategists and commentators who have extremely conservative, radical ideals that are linking up with an artist who is similarly radically conservative in a lot of different ways and has his own similar disenfranchisement, especially given the current circumstances. I think we need to stop worrying about. We should always worry about what's genuine and what's not, but the depth of it, like, it's not, we're not supposed to believe that Milo and Nick are supposed to be at Kanye's next wedding or something like that. And if they're not there, then this was all for naught. Everything that happens is just a moment. Use that moment. Don't harm other people if you can help it, but use the moment, use the people around you to further your mission. Some people are afraid of that kind of rhetoric, but it's going on all around you. So when people are sitting there and they're falling back on saying that, oh, Kanye West is being used right now, don't let all that get to your head. And those same people will swear against these racist systems and things like that, but you're claiming that he's falling victim. It's very strange, the hypocrisy that goes on in intellectual land, because they're so adamant about what they believe, and this goes for all of these intellectuals on the internet. They're so adamant about what they believe that it's just like they have to have some signifying. I would say that we just have to be a little bit more humble, because we all say that we realize that money doesn't signify anything besides the fact that you are, you have money, although it could allude to other things. And we all say that intelligence is the same thing, hard work or looks or anything. Any one aspect of a person doesn't mean that everything else is. But are we telling other people that, or are we really telling ourselves that? Are we trying to say it's that we believe it, or should we be telling ourselves that so we believe it? Because so many people treat people like they matter because they have money, or they have popularity, or they have fitness. They have that thing that you want, so you treat them higher or equal than, or you treat other people lesser than when they don't have these things. I think that this is something that we're going to have to abandon in the next. Basically, people, this is classes. These are classes. There's natural classes in life and stuff like and things like that. And people want to complain about classes. They want to complain about it, but they naturally align themselves to these classes anyways. I'm not talking about completely dismantling them because, like I said, it's natural and I don't even know if it's possible. There are leaders and followers and people who feel more comfortable in those roles. But we have to be smarter about how we do it. And that is where I end this video.